너무 안 추운데 일단 이 방만큼 한번 보실래요?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Jikook Diaries channel. Today we're going to discuss something that has truly taken the entire fandom by storm. A moment that has many wondering if Jungkook and Jimin are actually living together. Are the two secretly spending time together off camera? And is it true, as many fans have noticed, that Jimin indirectly confirmed it? Yes, today we're going to dive into the details that emerged from their latest interact-on a seemingly simple moment, but one that holds a deeper meaning for anyone who has followed Jikook's journey over the years. Let's slowly unravel it all. Rumors about Jungkook and Jimin living together are nothing new. Since BTS's early days, the two have been known to be close beyond just being bandmates. They often shared a room in BTS's old dorm, and various clips have shown how comfortable they are in their private space. But recently, after the members started living independently, many fans have been curious about whether Jimin and Jungkook are still together. It all started with a few small moments that fans noticed. Jungkook was often seen doing live shows in rooms with familiar interiors, walls, lighting, and even curtains, very similar to those featured in Jimin's videos. In the ARMY world, these small details can be big clues, as the two are known for often displaying interconnected elements without saying anything directly. Then, what made things even more interesting was when Jimin mentioned Jungkook on several occasions in a very warm and personal way. He mentioned how he didn't feel alone, even in difficult times, as if there was someone nearby who was always there. Many ARMYs may still remember Jungkook's recent live show where the atmosphere felt very calm, almost as if he were at someone's home, not a studio. He looked relaxed, dressed in home clothes, and spoke in a soft tone. However, what caught their attention were the small sounds heard in the background: footsteps, the sound of a door, and even the sound of someone laughing softly. Fans quickly surmised that the voice belonged to Jimin. It wasn't without reason that his soft laugh and intonation sounded very familiar to anyone who frequently watches BTS content. The moment seemed to indicate that Jungkook wasn't alone that night. And this is where the Jungkook spent the night with Jimin theory began to emerge. It wasn't because fans were trying to make things up, but because the small pieces of evidence that emerged felt so natural, so real, and in line with their long-standing pattern of togetherness. They didn't need to say much to show that their closeness remained intact, even when they rarely appeared together in public. Sometime after Jungkook's live broadcast, Jimin appeared in a short interview that made fans pause. In the casual conversation, he said, "I feel comfortable because there's someone who's always with me." That simple statement might sound ordinary to some, but to those who closely follow BTS's dynamics, the words felt like a hidden message. When the host asked if he was referring to someone from BTS, Jimin smiled slightly without answering directly, then looked down and said, "You know who it is." That reaction alone was enough to silence the entire fandom. That gentle smile, that slightly trembling tone of voice, as if it held a much deeper meaning. And even more interesting, that same day, Jungkook posted something on the same social platform. A simple photo of a cup of coffee on a wooden table with the caption, "Home." For some, it might just be a coincidence. But for many ARMYs, especially those who have long read their communication patterns, small things like this rarely happen without hidden meaning. To understand why this speculation resonates so strongly, we need to look back at their long history. Since their debut, Jimin and Jungkook have been known as a duo that complements each other. Jimin, with his natural gentleness and caring, has always been the one who understands Jungkook better than anyone else. Meanwhile, Jungkook, with his quiet and protective side, often shows affection in the form of small gestures. Many legendary moments are still remembered by ARMYs today, such as when Jimin always makes sure Jungkook eats, or when Jungkook secretly gazes at Jimin with a proud expression. Their relationship evolved from a close sibling relationship to something warmer, deeper, and deeply personal. After BTS began their individual activities, many fans assumed their relationship would be distant. But instead, there were increasingly signs that the two remained close behind the scenes. From the songs, the captions, to the close timing of the uploads, everything seemed to be a secret dialogue understood only by the two of them.
직구경 좀 하자고요? 집을 너무 안 치웠는데 일단 이 방만큼 한번 보실래요?
Back to the main issue of the night Jungkook reportedly spent with Jimin. One of the things that made it so viral was that the two of them disappeared from the public radar at the same time. There was no online activity, no sightings in public, until Jungkook finally reappeared with a genuinely happy smile. ARMYs noticed small details in the video. The bracelet he was wearing was similar to Jimin's, and even his hairstyle looked slightly changed, as if someone had styled it. It seemed as if that night wasn't just a time for rest, but also for sharing a peaceful time together. Are they really living together? No one can be sure. But one thing is for sure, the warmth between them was real. It wasn't something fake, but a connection built on mutual understanding and respect, away from the spotlight. What's interesting about all of this is how ARMYs responded. Most fans don't see it as gossip, but rather as a natural affection between two people who have grown together through difficult times. They become each other's home, their refuge, and their source of encouragement. ARMYs know that the relationship between BTS members isn't just about work. They're family. But in Jikook's case, that closeness seems like something softer, more personal, like two souls finding comfort in each other in silence. Jimin often describes Jungkook as someone he trusts completely, and Jungkook often refers to Jimin as the person who allows him to be himself. In a world as stressful as the Korean entertainment industry, having someone who understands without having to say much is incredibly rewarding. Of course, no one can be certain what really goes on behind the scenes. Neither Jimin nor Jungkook have ever directly stated that they live together or spend the night together. But what makes this also interesting isn't the confirmation, but the way they maintain the warmth of their relationship without having to explain it. Fans aren't looking for explicit confirmation. They simply want to celebrate the beauty of a genuine relationship. Jikook has become a symbol of a closeness that can't be described in words. For some, they are an example of how love, in any form, can be presented in a very human and tender way. If we look deeper, the story of living together or spending the night together isn't just about physical closeness, but about the closeness of the heart. Jimin and Jungkook have been together for over a decade. They've grown, struggled, and faced the world together. A relationship like that can't be separated by mere rumors or distance. When Jimin smiles at the mention of someone who makes him comfortable, and Jungkook writes the word home at the same time, perhaps it's no coincidence. Maybe home for them isn't a place, but a person. And maybe that someone is each other. ARMY, whatever your interpretation, one thing is undeniable. How beautiful it is to see two people supporting each other so sincerely. Behind the grand stage and the spotlight, Jimin and Jungkook still show their human side. Warm, gentle, and full of love. Do they really live together? Only they know the answer. But if we look at the way they look at each other, the way they call each other so tenderly, perhaps the answer is right before our eyes. Thank you for watching Jikook Diaries today. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments section. What did you feel after watching all these moments? Do you also feel like these two are experiencing something more than just friendship? See you in the next video. And as always, let's continue to celebrate the love, closeness, and beauty of a relationship that only Jikook can show the world.